Zoe was ecstatic and chimed in, "Adriana, there's hope. As long as Gordon convinces Mr. Langford, I'm sure you'll be safe then." "That's great. Thanks, Gordon." As Adriana thanked him profusely, her cleavage came into full view. "It's nothing. I'm just helping out a friend." Gordon waved his hand like it was a minor issue. "All right, since we've resolved the matter, let's go for a few more rounds of drinks," Zeke said, calling up his driver and ushering them into his car. Just as they were about to depart, more than 10 black SUVs screeched to a halt in front of the restaurant, surrounding it entirely. As the doors opened, a group of fighters with batons in hand got off and barged into the restaurant with a murderous look. "Dang. Weren't those the Langfords' men?" Zeke's eye twitched, and he was inexplicably nervous. He thought they were lucky to have left in time. If they had been slower by even 2 minutes, they probably wouldn't have been able to escape then. "Natasha, will your boyfriend be all right?" Adriana was worried. After all, Dustin had saved her earlier. She would feel bad if something happened to him. "Don't worry. He can handle it." Natasha smiled faintly. She was aware of his abilities. Fighting a few ordinary fighters would be like a breeze to him. "I don't think so. He only has 2 fists. Even if he had skills, how would he survive against so many of them?" Gordon shook his head but was happy about Dustin's predicament. "That's right. The Langfords have plenty of highly skilled martial artists. How would he take all of them on?" Zeke pursed his lips. In their eyes, Dustin only liked seeking attention. As soon as he encountered Langford's skilled fighters, he'd end up dead. Natasha didn't bother explaining further since they didn't believe her. In the meantime, in the private room of the restaurant, Dustin was silently enjoying his food. He was eating with great enthusiasm when the door was kicked down. A large number of fighters barged in, surrounding him in no time. The man who fainted earlier suddenly sprung up, his expression menacing. "Hey, punk. My backup is here. You're dead meat this time." It was evident that he had been playing dead. "This is all of them. I thought you were bringing an army." Dustin shook his head, seemingly regretful. "You're still talking back in the face of death. Kill him," the middle-aged man bellowed. Dozens of them brandished their weapons, prepared to attack, when suddenly, someone yelled at the door. "Hold it." Following the voice, a figure appeared. It was Dahlia who rushed in, clad in branded clothing. Dustin's brows furrowed at the sight of the woman. Why did he keep running into her? "I thought I was mistaken, but it really is you." She carried a complicated expression as she looked at Dustin. "So what if it's me?" "I've told you not to appear before me again," Dustin said coldly. Dahlia frowned at his words, but she turned to the middle-aged man instead. "Mr. Atwood, what's going on here?" "Mrs. Langford, this punk dared butt into our business. I'm about to give him a lesson. With your dignified status, I ask that you step aside lest you ruin your clothes." Mr. Atwood smiled apologetically. "Mr. Atwood, this is a friend of mine. Can you let him go?" Dahlia responded. "A friend?" He frowned slightly. Since he was slapped earlier, he was quite unwilling. Do my words not carry weight? Do I need to get Lewis here to talk to you?" Dahlia's expression turned cold. No. Please don't misunderstand, Mrs. Langford. Since he's your friend, naturally, we won't dare touch him." Mr. Atwood smiled awkwardly and gave the signal, leaving with all the men present. "Mrs. Langford? How impressive." Dustin sneered coldly, completely ungrateful.